All right. Oh, shit. Excuse me. This is what the Lord, the God of your father David says. You have not walked in the ways of your father Jehoshaphat or of Asa, king of Judah, but you have walked in the ways of the kings of Israel, and you have led Judah and the people of Jerusalem to prostitute themselves, just as the house of Ahab did. You all have also murdered your own brothers, murdered of your father's house, men who were better than you. So now the Lord is about to strike your people, your sons, your wives, and everything that is yours with a heavy blow. You yourselves will be very ill with a lingering disease of the bowels until the disease causes your bowels to come out. A wise man fears the Lord and shuns evil, but a fool is hot-headed and reckless. A quick-tempered man does foolish things, and a crafty man is hated. The simple inherit folly, but the prudent are crowned with knowledge. Evil men will bow down in the presence of the good, and the wicked at the gates of the righteous. The poor are shunned even by their neighbors, but the rich have many friends. He who despises his neighbor sins, but blessed is he who is kind to the needy. Absalom kills Amnon. 2 years later, when Absalom's sheep focus, honor, and respect, shears were at Baal Hazor near the border of Ephraim. He invited all the king's sons to come there. Absalom went to the king and said, "Your servant has had shears come. Will the king and his officials please join me?" No, my son, the king replied. All of us, you, although Absalom urged him, he still refused to go, but gave him his blessings. Then Absalom said, "If not, please yet my brother Amnon come with us." The king asked him, "Why should he come with you?" But Absalom urged him, so he sent with him Amnon and the rest of the king's sons. Absalom ordered his men, "Listen, when Amnon is in high spirits from drinking wine, and I say to you, strike Amnon down, then kill him. Don't be afraid. Have not I given you this order? Be strong and brave." So Absalom's men did to Amnon what Amnon had ordered them. All the king's sons got up, mounted their mules, and fled. While they were on their way, the report came to David, "Absalom has struck down all the king's sons. Not one of them is left." The king stood up, tore his clothes, and lay down on the ground, and all his servants the stood by with their clothes torn. But Jonadab, son of Shibna, David's brother, said, "My lord should not think that they killed all the princes, only Amnon is dead." This has been Absalom's expressed intention ever since the day Amnon raped his sister Tamar. My lord, the king should not be concerned about the report that all the king's sons are dead, only Amnon's dead. Meanwhile, Absalom had fled. Now the man standing watch looked up and saw many people on the road west of him coming down the side of the hill. The watchman went and told the king, "I see men in the direction of Harabim on the side of the hill." Jonadab said to the king, "See the kings the place of worship. These are the decrees of and the laws you must be careful to follow in the land that the Lord, the God of your fathers, has given you to possess as long as you live in the land. Destroy completely all the places on the high mountains and on the hills and under the spreading tree where the nations you are dispossessing worship their gods, break down their altars, smash their sacred stones, and burn their Asherah poles. In the fire, cut down the idols of their gods and wipe out their names from those places. You must not worship the Lord your God in their way, but you are to seek the place the Lord your God will choose from among your tribes to put his name there for his dwelling. To that place you must go. There bring your burnt offerings and sacrifice your tithes and special gifts that you have vowed to give, and your free will offerings, and the firstborn of your herds and flocks. There is the presence of the Lord your God. You and your family shall eat and shall rejoice in everything you have, but your hand too, because the Lord, and with honor and respect, because the Lord your God has blessed you. Jehoiada and his sons brought out the king's son and put the crown on him. They presented him with a copy of the covenant and proclaimed him king. They anointed him and shouted, "Long live the king." When Athaliah heard the noise of the people running and cheering the king, she went to them at the temple of the Lord. She looked, and there was the king standing by the pillar at the entrance. The officers and the trumpeters were beside the king, and all the people of the land were rejoicing and blowing trumpets, and the singers with musical trumpets were leading the praises. Then Athaliah tore her robes and shouted, "Treason, treason!" Jehoiada the priest sent out the commanders of the units of 100 who were in charge of the troops and said to them, "Bring her out between the ranks and put to the sword anyone who follows her." For the priest had said, "Do not put her to death at the temple of the Lord." So they seized her as she reached the entrance of the horses' gate on the palace grounds, and there they put her to death. Kings take pleasure in honest lips. They value a man who speaks the truth. A king's wrath is a messenger of death, but a wise man will appease it. When a king's face brightens, it means life. His favor is like a rain cloud in spring. How much better to get wisdom than gold, to choose understanding rather than silver. The highway of the upright avoids evil. He who guards his way guards his life. Pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. Better to be lowly in spirit and among the oppressed than to share plunder with the proud. Whoever gives heed to instruction prospers, Lord, with honor and respect. And blessed is he who trusts in the Lord. The wise in heart are called discerning, and pleasant words promote instruction. Understanding is the fountain of life to those who have it, but folly brings punishment to fools.